Good morning, guys. So it is show day and I woke up very flat. So we are putting in lots and lots of food. I'm on meal 2 right now, which is 150 grams of rice cakes and then 50 grams of honey. Obviously this rice cake doesn't have the honey on it or else it would be dripping all over the plate. Feeling pretty good, excited that the big day is finally here. Nerves are pretty calm. I'm happy with posing routine. Very fortunate to have some friends here to, uplift the mood. Obviously very fortunate to have my wife, Jenny, here. We had a little bit of a bumpy ride. Jenny got stopped and was not let out of Indonesia when we flew here because she got a new passport, but she was able to make some things happen and fly out the next day. Poor Jenny had to buy 3 different flights to get here. One was her fault, fair enough. She just picked the wrong day, it happens. Second was the visa agency's fault, so Jenny had to buy 3 separate flights. And on the third one, she finally made it here, so a little bit of an expensive trip for Jenny, but happy to have her here. Happy to be with friends, Ben and Michelle. Michelle competed last night. I'm sure I'll get some footage of that. She looked absolutely wonderful on stage. And then Ben and I will compete later today in the pro show. So, talk to you soon. All right, guys, we are on the way to the venue. It is show day. I have tanning at 5:30. Prejudging starts somewhere around 7:20 for bikini pros. I will be on stage probably around 8:30 for prejudging, and then finals will probably be after 10 p.m. So it is going to be a late night. Adds a little bit of wrinkles to the peak, but we figured it out. We're going to make the best. Let's go. It's 11:44 p.m., almost midnight, goal accomplished, top 10 at my pro debut here at the Hong Kong Pro. So a very challenging day, lots of variables. It is insanely hot in here. Everybody was sweating through their clothes. You can see sweating through their cans how badly I'm sweating. The crowd was dealing with it too, but goal accomplished. A successful first season in bodybuilding. Regional pro card win, show 2, show 3, 9th place out of 24 at the Hong Kong Pro. I will take it. I'm very elated to say the least. So thank you for everyone for all the kind messages and support. We're gonna go get some fluids in, eat a little bit of food, nothing crazy, and get back into Monday. Client check-ins Monday morning, just like always. Okay guys, so it is Tuesday morning. I had my one day of eating my fun foods, my flexible foods, my post-comp foods, where I got the pastries, I got a cappuccino, Ben took us to a dim sum place, then we got barbecue pork for lunch. Dinner, Jenny and I went to a Pakistani restaurant, which is something that I had been really craving. Middle Eastern foods is one of my favorites, one of my kind of 3 avenues of suggested date night routes that I use for myself and my clients. One being sushi, Japanese, another being Vietnamese, and then like Middle Eastern kebab style cuisines are my 3rd kind of avenue I typically steer people. Those are some of my favorites. So that's what I did. And now Tuesday, I'm back to what makes me feel best, right? Something that I always personally choose is chasing what makes my body feel good. If my body feels good, I feel sharp, I'm happy, and these are the type of foods that do it. So I typically just recreate what I make at home on the go. One little tip for you. When you're at I'm at a breakfast buffet here at the hotel, it's hard to ask for egg whites, especially with sometimes the language barrier. So what I do is I'll just get 2 fried eggs or over easy or whatever, and then I just eat around the yolk. So I get pretty much all of the egg white. It's a simple communication, and then I can just eat around the egg yolk that I don't want, and it's really seamless there. So I'm gonna dive into breakfast. So it is Tuesday, final day in Hong Kong, my first training day since Saturday. And I am now at the Fit Culture location in Central on Hong Kong Island side. I am training hamstrings and back, and I'm starting with the prone ham curl that we have over there. I'm going to do, they have Prime here. They have Brian has this place, incredibly kitted. It's all Hanada, Prime, New Tech, and Rogers. So very well done. They have both the pin-loaded Prime prone ham curl and seated ham curl. So I'm going to do 2 sets on the prone ham curl with the cam set to mid-short to target the short end, the contraction of the hamstrings, and then for the seated leg curl, I'm going to set it mid-range to mid-lengthened to target the mid-lengthened range there. So cover my hamstrings, only 2 sets of each because I don't want to cramp up on the plane tonight. I'm a little bit dehydrated, and then we're going to train some back. So doing 2 sets on the Prime seated ham curl. This is arguably, in my opinion, the best seated ham curl on the market. This and the stride version that we were talking about the other day. It's just the configurability options are endless. So I don't know how to extend, so I'm going to set it there. We have an ankle setting here. Full 6-8 settings on the back depth, and this comes down super low, not even to mention the sport cam. So I have this set mid-lengthened, so not super lengthened, but not in the mid-range, so I'm at 4 setting between fully lengthened. Tension drops off. Okay. Like it's the full range. Even at the beginning, it's really hard.
Slow. That's the words. No matter. Right.
So I'm in the prime pull over here, and one thing that's really cool, this is, I mean, I don't know if I would call it a rare machine, we just never really see it. And what's cool, like all the other prime pieces, is the smart cam adjustability. And what's particularly really cool about the smart cam adjustments with back training is back is one of the very few muscles where there's very little exercises that are actually lengthened overload. Whereas if we're speaking about something like a quad, any squat pattern is effectively going to be lengthened overloads, like sissy squats, leg press, all these things are going to be at least mid-range to lengthened overload. But when you're thinking about the lats, any pull down, any row, they all fail short. So you very rarely get to train a challenge, maximally challenge the lats in a lengthened position. And with the prime kit, you can do that. So on the pullover, I did one set mid-lengthened and one set lengthened, where then the resistance profile is the most challenging in that lengthened or mid-lengthened, but then in the short, I'm still getting the range of motion. So it's just really cool to be able to train the lat, or overload, I should say, the lat at the lengthened, but then still be able to get the short position. So whenever you're traveling and you see these sorts of things, it's really cool just to be able to take advantage of equipment that you wouldn't normally have access to train and challenge certain muscle groups in positions that you may not be able to do so effectively like at home. And then if you are in a position to buy equipment or in a gym with things like Prime, use them. So I had a little bit to think about my reflections on the weekend, my competitive season, and kind of where I'm going from here. Well, I've always known where I was going from here, but it's been really kind of overwhelming, I should say. This entire prep started off as I think I should do a prep, because if I reach my 50s, I think I would regret that I never did one. So that was kind of my attitude going into it, and the reason that I did. Never in a million years did I imagine how rapid the trajectory could be, or that I could be quite, good at this. So it's been an overwhelmingly positive first prep experience. There's been some hard parts, some downsides, but that's just what happens when you try and accomplish anything that's challenging. But the peaks and the heights of emotion and successes have been overwhelmingly positive for me. So going from, March 1st, March 31st, the very first day of prep. In early May, I started my first posing classes, not knowing how to pose at all, and it was horrible. Into, 5-6 weeks later, my regional, doing well there, progressing through July to the Taiwan Pro Qualifier, where I earned my pro card. And here we are 7 weeks after Taiwan, 2 days after entering my first pro show and making the top 10 and taking 9th out of 24 athletes for someone who was just a hobbyist lifter 3.5-4 short months ago is really, really wild. So it's again been just such an overwhelmingly positive experience. I'm so happy that I took the leap into being uncomfortable,
doing something new that I hadn't done before. And I'm grateful for, my coach, Jackson Pios, who once said to me when we were sitting in a sauna after a training session, I'm only going to say this once, but I think you could do well if you decided to try your hand at bodybuilding, or men's physique, more appropriate. Without that very gentle nudge and suggestion from him, I never would have actually taken myself down this path. Obviously, he guided me down this path and had 3, perfectly nailed peaks as a coach for me. So I'm very, very grateful for him, but it's been just an overwhelmingly positive experience. I'm very pleased with my results, like top 10 at my first pro show, when I still kind of feel like a pretender in this space. Everyone seems to be so experienced, and this is literally my 3rd rodeo, and they're all so close together. So it feels, I'm very grateful for the experience and opportunities that I've had and that I've been able to seize. Now, moving forward, what are my goals? Well, I get married in 17 days back in the United States to my will-be wife, Jenny. That is my top priority that I'm very, very excited about. After that, priority is getting my fertility back and starting a family. So those are the next 2 big priorities. And then potentially at the end of 2026, maybe there's room for a prep in there, maybe not, but then there's always 2027. So I'm a little bit fortunate in that I do like men's physique. I don't have any aspirations to go up to classic or anything. And I've already maxed out my weight cap. Like, it was actually hard for us to get under my weight cap. So I'm fortunate that I don't have to do any like big growing phases or anything like that. It's going to be bringing up some, lagging body parts. Like my back is an obvious weakness. Chest fullness is an obvious weakness. So I have plenty of time to work on that and just keep my body weight right around 100 kilos, which is 220 pounds. My weight cap is 98.4 or 216.9. So stay lean. I can stay about 10% body fat, which is really, really fun from having a good, healthy looking lean physique without getting over fat. I'm able to eat a really fair, solid amount of food, probably 35, 36, 3,700 calories or more at that body weight, at that leanness. I'm going to put cardio in for health as part of my fertility protocol, and I'm really, really excited about just the future. And a big thank you for everyone of all the encouraging words, the kindness, the support over my side quest in bodybuilding, which has turned out to be this wonderfully positive addition to my life at 37 years old. So definitely a late bloomer in that department, but better late than never. So thanks guys for following along, all the positive words and encouragement. See you in the next one.